Hey everyone, it's Amanda. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do your makeup for when you wear a bold lip. Today I am wearing this beautiful red lip. This has been my go-to red lip for this season so far. I definitely think this season is going to be a season for me of experimenting with my makeup looks. Already, I've been really gravitating towards bold lips, specifically this one right here. This has been my go-to. I just love it so much. I feel so confident when I'm wearing this lip color. But yeah, I know it can be a little bit tricky and it's really easy to kind of just overdo the rest of your makeup when you're wearing a red lip. So I'm going to show you guys all my tips and tricks for how to keep looking fresh and just to really suit your makeup look to your lip when you're going with a bold choice. Before we get into the video today, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and also hit the bell notifications so you don't miss any future videos. And yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so for today's look, I am starting with skin. My skin and I aren't getting along right now. Not loving it. Honestly, I've just been having a bit of a struggle with my skin, and also wearing makeup can be really difficult when you have active breakouts, scars, blemishes, all that stuff, especially if you don't like a heavy look like me. I really don't like wearing a ton of makeup. I just feel like it accentuates things I don't want to accentuate, and I just like looking glowy and fresh. So I'm going to show you kind of my go-to base for when my skin and I are fighting. So this is actually a new product for me. This is the Saie Glowy Super Gel, and I'm using the shade Star Glow. So I've tried this once and it kind of reminds me a little bit of the, what's it called? Hollywood Flawless Filter by Charlotte Tilbury, except it doesn't give you coverage. It just kind of makes your skin nice and glowy. So I'm just going to apply that with my fingers. I'm just kind of going for a nice, healthy, glowing base situation here. Right away, that adds such a pretty glow to my skin. I think that's really, really pretty. I'm also going to apply this in the center of my forehead. It feels like it just melts into the skin. This product feels really, really light. It really just kind of feels like a gel moisturizer. I think I'm actually going to avoid applying it on my chin because I do have some breakouts on my chin and I don't really want to highlight those, and plus I don't really like a shiny chin anyways, so I'm just gonna leave that. I think this gives such a pretty glow to the skin. I don't see any shimmers in it, which I really like. It honestly looks like I'm glowing from within. So far, I really like this product, but let's see how makeup applies on top. So next I'm going in with the Tower 28 Sunny Days Lightweight Foundation in the shade 10. I've only used this once before and I didn't really know how I felt about it, so I'm going to try it again today. So I just took a little bit of that on the back of my hand and I'm just going to apply it with a makeup sponge and a really light thin layer. This looks like it might be kind of dark for me. All right, as I'm blending it out, it doesn't look too bad in terms of a color match. It's blending out really nicely. So especially when I go for a bold lip, I do prefer to take it easy on the skin just because I want the focus to be the lip and I just don't want to look too heavy, because when you have a bold lip and bold everything else, like bold skin, bold eyes, it can just look a little much in my opinion. Okay, so this foundation is a little bit yellow for me, I think, but it is applying nicely. Very light coverage, which isn't a bad thing in this case. All right, I just took a little bit more of that product because I used all of it on the first side of my face. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, but this foundation is a little bit warm for my skin tone. It's honestly, it's fine. I'll be able to make it work. But yeah, I think I have the lightest shade in this foundation and it's just a little bit too dark, a little bit too warm. But overall, this is just okay. The coverage isn't blowing me away. The color match isn't perfect. It blended out nicely and combined with that base I applied, it looks nice. Like it does look fine, but I'm just not blown away. Moving on, I'm using the Vanish Airbrush Concealer by Hourglass in the shade Creme. I'm just going to take this and apply it on top of any visible scars or breakouts that I have, and I'm just going to kind of let that sit for a minute. The reason I like to do this is so I'm not going in with a heavy foundation, I'm not applying heavy concealer everywhere, I'm really just focusing the coverage where I need it and keeping the rest of my skin looking fresh and effortless. So under my eyes, I'm going in with my NARS Creamy Concealer in the shade Vanilla 2. And then everywhere else, I'm going to take the same concealer, just in the shade Light 1 Chantilly, and I'm just going to apply that on the high points of my face and also under my eyes. I'm also going to apply a little bit on my jawline just to kind of brighten that area. So I'm just going to blend out under my eyes with a beauty sponge right away. I like to use the NARS Creamy Concealer in combination with the Hourglass one, just because this one is a little bit lighter in coverage. It's a little bit more natural looking, while the Hourglass one is definitely a full coverage concealer. I'm also going to blend out my chin and along my jawline. I'm basically just going to blend out all the areas I applied that light colored NARS concealer. Alright, so as you can see, I kind of blended out all of that lighter coverage concealer and I left the Hourglass concealer on my blemishes. The reason I did this is because I actually like to blend this concealer out with my finger. I feel like it just works the best at covering blemishes. It really it prevents you from over blending on top of the concealer, because we want the concealer to pretty much stay put and also just really be worked into the skin so that it looks natural and not heavy. Honestly, I feel like that erased most of my blemishes. In person, you really can't tell that I have any scars going on. My skin looks still really natural though, and it looks like skin. It really doesn't look like I'm wearing a ton of makeup, which is exactly what I wanted. So now I'm going in with contour. I'm using my Soft Sculpt Shaping Stick by Makeup by Mario in the shade Light Medium. I just love this contour. It blends out so easy. The shade is beautiful. And yeah, I feel like it gives me enough definition without doing a ton of work. Since I want the skin to look quite natural, I'm doing my contour a little bit differently. I'm actually going to pick up product with the brush and apply it to the skin instead of going straight in with the product. This just makes it a little bit easier to apply it in a more natural way. It's a little bit easy to over apply if you go straight in with the stick. So yeah, I'm using my Rephr 04 brush to do this, and I'm just picking up the product like this, and I'm just going to press it into the hollows of my cheeks. Something I like to do as well is just take that same beauty sponge we're using and just press that on top of where we applied that contour. I also like to take a little bit of that product along my hairline and just blend it into my forehead just to warm up the skin a little bit. So far, I think the skin is looking really good actually, but we're actually gonna take a break from our base right now. I'm gonna set it with some Charlotte Tilbury setting spray, and we're gonna move on to eyes and kind of just let that cream base really set. So going in with that lighter NARS concealer, I'm just gonna apply a really thin layer of that on my eyelids just to kind of work like an eyeshadow primer to cover any discoloration and to just give me a good base for the eyeshadows. Alright, so once we've done that, I'm just going to set it with a little bit of Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Powder, just so it's not super tacky when we're applying eyeshadow. So I'm actually going to be dipping into the Gone Matte eyeshadow palette by ColourPop. So this one's really great because it kind of has all the possible undertones you could ever need for a really simple neutral eye, which is, spoiler alert, what I'm going for today to pair with my red lip. You really just have everything from very light shades to really deep shades. I think this is a really great and also affordable palette for anyone who wants a good neutral matte palette. This is honestly such a good one. I'm going to start by dipping in the shade Duvet It with a really big fluffy brush, and I'm just going to apply that in my crease. And I'm just feathering that out towards my temple, just keeping it really nice and diffused. I'm also going to apply that color on my bottom lash line really lightly as well. So I'm dipping into the shade Snooze In, which is just a really nice kind of neutral brown. And I'm applying that on the outer corners of my eye. I'm focusing it kind of in the area where I would apply my liner, and I'm just blending it out. I want it to look super diffused. And I'm taking a little bit as well on my lower lid, just on my very outermost corner. I'm keeping a really light hand with this because, like I said earlier, we want the lip to be the focus of the look. So I'm keeping it pretty toned down on the eyes. I'm being very careful not to be too heavy-handed and not to apply any colors that are too dark that are going to be a bit distracting. So now I'm going in with the shade Fluff Up, which is just a nice light cream color, and I'm going to be applying that all over my lids just to kind of brighten them up a little bit. I'm also going to apply that on my lower lash line, kind of on my tear duct and just in the innermost corner. I'm going to apply a little bit of brown waterproof kohl liner in my tight line, and for that I'm using the Hourglass Voyeur waterproof gel eyeliner in the shade Cave. I just feel like this is a really good subtle option if you don't want to go for a heavy liner. I just think it makes the lashes look longer and brings a little bit more attention to the eye without being overpowering. I love these because they really don't budge on the eye, they stay put, and they come in a really beautiful color range. So I don't always do this step, this is definitely optional, but I'm going to apply a little bit of a light brown winged liner using my favorite eyeliner. This is the MAC Brushstroke 24-Hour Eyeliner in Brush Brown. I am absolutely obsessed. This liner is so easy to use and it is the prettiest brown. I've honestly gone through probably 4 of these, but I'm just gonna keep this really close to my lash line and I'm just gonna do a tiny little wing. I'm really not going to overdo it. All right, just like that, I think is good. Nice and thin. I really only focus it on the outer half of my eye. And as you can see, I didn't really wing it out too far. I kind of followed the natural shape of my eye, following the way my lashes go. Once I put mascara on, this will look super natural, but I'm gonna do my other eye off camera because eyeliner is really hard to do on camera without having a place to balance my arms. So, be right back. All right, so that is both eyes done, and as you can see, this liquid eyeliner is really natural. It doesn't overpower the eyes. It's really so easy to apply. I almost never make mistakes with this liner. I just always go to this one, especially when I'm in a rush. I just know it's not gonna fail me, so I highly recommend that one. I'm going to go in with mascara now, and I'm going to use one of my new favorites. This one's from Tower 28. This is the Make Waves mascara, and I'm just going to apply 2 coats of that to my top lashes and a little bit of it to the bottom lashes. I love this brush. The curved brush does such a good job of really pushing my lashes up and keeping them curled. I also think this formula is amazing. It doesn't clump, but it makes your lashes look so long and so thick at the same time. It's honestly so good. And I'm only applying that mascara to my outer corner on the bottom lashes, and I'm really just applying the tiniest little amount. All right, so that is that. That's with 2 coats of mascara and a little bit on the bottom lashes. So I'm actually gonna go into the lips now, so exciting. So going in with this red lip liner by Makeup Forever, I'm using the shade 712 Either Cherry in their Artist Color Pencil. So for a red lip, I always sharpen my lip liner super sharp, which is why I love these ones by Makeup Forever. They're a good old-fashioned wood pencil. They glide on so easily, and they also last pretty well. I like to always start on my Cupid's bow because I overline it a little bit, and then I venture over to the corners of my lips, and I don't really overline on the outer corners at all. And then on my bottom lip, I overline a little bit right in the center, and then again, I keep it to my natural lip shape on the outer corners. So once you have your lips lined, I like to go in with a little brush like so, just a tiny little detailed brush and a tiny bit of concealer, and I like to just kind of sharpen up the edges and clean up any mistakes I may have made along the way. Okay, so once I've lined my lips, I'm going to go in with my favorite liquid lipstick of the moment. I'm so excited about this one. This is the Makeup Forever Rouge Artist Forever Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade 402 Constantly on Fire. And this is so pretty. It's just a classic red, which is what I generally gravitate to. And these last all day, all night. They literally will last through a hurricane. They will last through anything. You can eat, drink, whatever. Your lips are not going to budge. And the color is so intense, just watch. Look at that color. Oh, I just think it is so gorgeous. I like to apply the lip liner first just because it's just a lot easier when you have a border to work with. So although this looks really pretty, I do like to add a little bit of contour, I guess you'd say, to my lip. I've never tried this shade, but I'm going to try this Tower 28 one-liner multi-liner. This one is in the shade Draw Me, and it's just a really pretty dark brown, and I'm going to kind of contour the outer corners of my lips with this. And I just like to keep a lip brush on hand to kind of blend that liner out as I go. So you can kind of see already, it's just kind of giving my lip a little bit more shape, because when you apply a liquid lip, they're so opaque, it just kind of can leave your lips looking a little bit flat in my opinion. So that's why I like to go in with a lip liner. Usually I would go in with one a little bit darker than this, but I think it's working. And you're just really gonna focus that in to the outermost corners and then just blend that out and kind of, it'll create an ombre effect moving into the center of the lips where will be the lightest and the outer corners you want kind of the darkest. All right, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I made a little mistake right here. So if you do that, same thing, just take a little concealer on a brush and voila. Okay, so that's the lip finished. As you can see, the brown lip liner on the outer corners just gives the lip such a pretty contoured look. In my opinion, I just think, yeah, the plain liquid lip by itself kind of just looks a little flat. So I always add a little extra. I always kind of contour the lips a little bit, but if that's not your thing, you can wear the liquid lip all by itself. It honestly looks great too. All right, so moving on to blush. Blush can be tricky to pair with a red lip. I always keep it really minimal with blush, and I try to match the tone of my lip to the tone of my blush. So if my lip has a little bit of a more pinky red tone, I'll go with a more pinkier red. If my lip is a bit more of a rusty red, I'll go with a more rusty red on the cheek. You kind of know what I mean, but I could honestly go into a full video about this. So if you guys want to see that, you can leave a comment down below letting me know if that is something you'd like to see, how to pair your blush with your lip. But for today's video, I'm going to go in with the About Face Cheek Freak Blush Balm in the shade Smash. Oh gosh. Okay, so I love these, but my batch that was sent to me wasn't like glued into the package properly. So as you can see, it pops out and like rattles around in the packaging, which is kind of annoying, but the product is really pretty and I'm gonna show you that now. So I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of that blush on a brush and I'm just going to stipple it really lightly on the kind of high points of my cheek. Blending it down towards the apples of my cheek. And then I'm just going to bounce over it with a damp beauty sponge, just to really melt that into the skin. Honestly, I think this looks really nice and natural. The red in that blush matches the red on my lip really nicely. The only thing you want to be careful is don't go overboard on the blush. Definitely scale the blush back a little bit, or you can start looking a little weird really quickly. These blush balms are so nice. Honestly, they apply and blend so easily. I think they are really pretty, especially this color. I think this is my favorite out of all the colors I've tried. It's just a really kind of natural, it just looks like natural blood in your cheeks. It's so flattering. So to kind of finish the look off, I'm going to set my face. You guys already know my favorite setting powder for under the eyes is the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. It is just so good. I love it. I always like to pick a little up on my pointy powder puff, and then I just press it right under my eyes. And then to just set the rest of my face, since I want to keep a little bit of glow to my face, I don't want to be completely matte, I'm going in with this absolutely stunning Hourglass palette. Look how beautiful this is. It's a work of art. It's so, so beautiful. The detail is insane. I'm just going to be picking up the lightest setting powder and kind of setting all over my face with that. And then for a little bit of highlight, I'm going in with the highlight shade right next to that powder I used, just on the high points of my cheeks and also in the inner corners of my eyes. All right, and that is it for this look. I'm honestly so happy with the way this turned out. Surprisingly, I've been wearing a lot of red lips this year to kind of get into fall. I think I'm going to be experimenting a lot with different dark lip tones this year, but yeah, this has kind of been my go-to makeup to pair with a more bold lip. So I hope you guys liked it, and I hope you find this video helpful. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and also hit the bell notification so you don't miss any future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.